Certain days fade into the hazy fuzz that is the complete history of ourselves. Other days remain somehow vivid and seem like yesterday no matter how many years go by. I remember the day Beth moved in next door as vividly as if it had been this morning. I was a 19-year-old college student at the time, and, admittedly my share of immature, I was living in an apartment complex not far from where I went to school. Not a fantastic place, but not a terrible one either. It had a pool, an exercise room, and a jacuzzi, which I spent many nights in, hitting on various bikini-clad women, and in some case doing things that should not ever be done in public jacuzzis. It was an understatement to say that I was a horny teenager, and it was equally an understatement to say that Beth was hot. She had brown flowing hair and dangerous green eyes. The system of measurements were a mystery to me, though what I knew could be summarized very simply. Her breasts were large, waist small, but, well, luscious, and her legs were something that would make most men's eyes travel up and down her body like they were tied to invisible strings. She was the kind of woman men watched on television because they knew full well that women like that were out of their league. I knew no such thing because in addition to being a horny teenager I was also more than my fair share of arrogant. So the day Beth moved into the apartment next to mine was the day we met. It was on the stairs leading up to her apartment and she was carrying a rather large box filled with movies. I asked if she could use a hand. Actually, I could use quite a few hands. I've got a lot of stuff. Well, I'm afraid all I have is 2 hands, but you can use them repeatedly if you'd like. It will almost be like having quite a few extra hands. She smiled. Well, that's a start. I'm Beth. And if you wouldn't mind taking this the rest of the way to my room I would appreciate it. I took the box from her and did a quick visual survey of her movie collection. On top was a copy of The Princess Bride. As you wish, I said, letting a half-grin play across my face flirtatiously. I didn't think I was going to sleep with her that night, but I would be lying if I were to say I didn't have every intention of sleeping with her at least eventually. The inescapable truth of the matter, as I carried everything I could manage to her apartment, was that I was doing my best to be nice so that I could get laid, which I figured she didn't know. I was wrong, as her first words after moving everything proved. So, now that you have helped me move everything, should we sleep together tonight? Or were you thinking of a couple weeks after you've buttered me up with some other favors? She said sarcastically, flipping her hair off to one side. I was speechless. It hadn't really dawned on me that this woman must get hit on every day by nearly every man she met. You were looking at my ass every time we walked up the stairs. You noticed that? What? You think women don't notice that sort of thing? Beth laughed and rolled her eyes. Thank you for the help. I didn't catch your name. Jake, I said, unsure exactly what was the right next move in a situation like this. Well, Jake, I'll be sure to knock on your door if I need any more help. In the meantime though, I think you had probably better go home before you get any crazy ideas. I had already had my share of crazy ideas while watching her butt walk up and down the stairs, so I turned to leave. But as I turned, I saw the box of movies one more time. As you wish, I said. I had gotten only a few steps out the door when I heard her voice. Alright, you win. Come back and help me unpack. But no promises on the sleeping together. I helped her unpack and then went home, and Beth and I began to talk regularly. It had been a couple weeks since she had moved in and I had seen her nearly every day in the gym or in the hall. That line from The Price is Bride became a kind of recurring conversation piece. I did my best to make sure anything she asked I would answer, as you wish, which always provoked a rather strange, half perplexed, half elated response from her, a response I liked, which prompted me to keep it up. Then, as time went by, I began to notice something strange about Beth's apartment other than the strange swirling that appeared on all sorts of furniture pieces. Every couple of days a totally different man would show up at her door and then leave about 3 hours later. It was like clockwork, always on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, at night, and almost always it was someone new. Most of them were what I would judge as pretty attractive men, and so I began to get curious, and finally, while I was over helping her set up her computer, I asked who they were. I knew this was going to come up sooner or later, which is why I probably should have just scared you off in the beginning like I was planning to, of all the things you had to say. What? The as you wish thing? Beth smiled and looked at me with a look that made my heart pound in more than just my chest. Look, there are some things you need to know about me. For one, I'm a professional erotic hypnotist. To talk with me on the phone would cost you $50. To just stand in this room with me and have me talk to you should be costing you a couple $100. Well, I can leave if you want, and sometime, if I get together the money I can come back. Beth laughed and shook her head. No, that's okay, stay. You are my guest at the moment. As you wish, I said, and watched Beth smile. So you do phone sex? So what? I write porn sometimes. I wouldn't care if you slept with every man that came over here. I'd still be standing here as long as you wouldn't let me. You are hot and fun to hang around. So what does that have to do with me saying as you wish? It's not just phone sex. I'm an official member of a group called Hypnotic Seduction. I hypnotize men to do anything I tell them to. Sometimes I tease them. Sometimes a little sexual torture. And sometimes I'm more than a little bit of a dominatrix. Sometimes I fuck their brains out if I am in the mood for it. The thing that gets me is this. I always have them say something specific when I hypnotize them. It's something I just like hearing. And to be honest, it makes me terribly horny just to hear it because it always means I have complete control over them. And then you had to go and say it. Not once, but over and over again. And now, frankly, it's getting to the point that I want you. I was speechless. The hottest woman I had ever met had just said words from every fantasy I had ever had. Beth continued. The thing is, I have no intention of being with anyone. I'm a clinically diagnosed nymphomaniac, and I need sex probably more than you could supply it. Plus I make very good money doing this, and while you do have me quite turned on at the moment, I enjoy what I do way too much to give it up. But right now, I want you enough to ask you to enjoy my company for free. The thing is I also like to be able to take complete control at any time I wish. So if you want me, the way I am wanting you, you'd have to let me hypnotize you. I won't hypnotize you every time I want sex from you, but probably a lot of the time. And yes, this means I might do this more than once. I won't charge you, but you are going to have to give me something worth more than money. Control over you whenever I want it so that I can have you as a sex slave anytime I want. You'll be free to do whatever you want whenever you want as long as when I call you, you show up like a good sex slave. This isn't going to be a voluntary thing either. You won't be able to come over unless I want you to, and when I call you, you will be hypnotized and won't be able to resist. So if you do this, it's pretty permanent. Do you understand? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that no one else will probably ever get. You were at the right place at the right time and said the right thing, and being next door, you are in the perfect position for what I want right now. So point blank, will you let me hypnotize you? I didn't know what to say. I'd never been hypnotized before, but I'd never had sex with someone this hot before either. I wasn't sure what this was going to include, but I could see her breasts heaving from an obvious arousal building in her. Let me get this straight. I have sex with you whenever you want. There is no standard relationship. I can't have you whenever I want, but I can sleep with other people if I want to. I get to have my normal sexual boundaries pushed by someone who apparently is good enough to charge a couple $100 just to see face to face. And all I have to do is make sure I do whatever you say, as you wish. As you wish a million times over. Beth smiled a smile I have never seen the likes of before. It was an ecstatic yet scheming smile. A smile that knew that I had no idea what I had just gotten myself into. And a smile that knew she had just gotten a personal sex slave to call on whenever she wanted to test out anything she liked. Put these headphones on while you fill out this form and I will be right back. I put the headphones on and listened to the music playing on them as I filled out something saying that I didn't have STDs or anything and that I was willingly entering into the hypnosis. It was surprisingly boring filling out those forms and I was more than a little distracted, but also, I was feeling strangely sleepy. I looked up to see where Beth was but she seemed to have disappeared. I wasn't sure where she had gone. I wanted to ask her if I was supposed to be feeling slightly dazed. And then I heard her voice in the middle of the strange music. Go sit on the couch and turn on the television. I did what I was told, still looking around for her, but she seemed to have disappeared into her room. I turned on the TV, which was filled with some spiraling images and flashing images and words I couldn't quite make out. Stare at the screen and relax, listening to the sound of my voice. You are beginning to feel dazed and somewhat aroused already. Let yourself give in to those feelings as you focus on the screen and the sound of my voice. I want you to focus so much on the sound of my voice and on that screen that you almost don't notice the music and the actual words I am saying. It's as though the part of your brain that understands words is working, but no longer really reporting to you. You understand what I am saying deep down but are unsure where the words are even coming from. Feel yourself getting lightheaded and your mind filling with images of me naked and horny. You can't seem to get these images out of your mind. You can see me bent over in front of you. You can see me pressing my breasts toward you. You can see me wanting you, and you can't stop thinking about it. The more you want me, the more you feel like you will do anything at all to have me. Look at my body, my sensual body, and how your hands want to touch it, to caress it, and how you want to feel my touch all over. You are getting horny, but at the same time you know that you cannot have me unless you do as I say. From now on, to please me so that you can get what you want. Anytime I command you to do anything, you will say, as you wish automatically, and you will find yourself doing as I have asked without even trying. You have no ability to resist, and you already know this because of how hard you are, how horny you are, and that you cannot resist my seduction of your body and mind. To prove that you will do anything for me and that you cannot and will not resist, say the words, as you wish, out loud right now. I smiled, but in mid-smile I found myself doing something unexpected. As you wish, I said. Get hard for me. Feel your dick throb for me from how wonderful it feels to be seduced by me. You like saying those words. You like being under my erotic spell. You will do anything to be able to have my body. From this moment on, anytime I say the words, do as I say, you will have no choice but to respond with, as you wish. And once you have said that, you will find yourself doing what I say uncontrollably. Do as I say, as you wish. Do as I say, as you wish. I was suddenly very dizzy and unable to think straight. I found her words wrapping around me like a warm blanket, surrounding me and pouring through me. You are now thinking my words so completely that you can't seem to think anything else. You want to hear my voice because it turns you on. You like my words and you want to do as I say, as you wish. Your only thoughts are my words. You cannot resist. And with every one of my words you are going deeper and deeper into a trance. You get hornier, fantasize about my body more, and become dizzier and more lightheaded with every word. Your mind is going blank except for my words. Now begin to focus on the throbbing of your dick and the desire that is pouring into your body. It is as if that desire is coming directly from me, as though I have control of it. And most importantly, it is as though I have control of your dick because of that. Feel your stomach muscles tighten from how hard your dick is right now and feel yourself thrust. That's right. Feel yourself thrust for me uncontrollably. Listen to the sound of my voice and discover that you aren't sure where my words are coming from. They are repeating in your head and you can't seem to stop them. It is as if some part of your mind is speaking them uncontrollably and as though these words are your own thoughts. Now, I want you to think to a time when you last played catch with someone. Imagine the moment when a ball is thrown to you. There is a kind of automatic reaction, where your hands move on their own to catch that ball. If it were to be thrown at your face, you would not even be able to keep your hands at your side. Something deep within you would move them to stop the ball. Notice that there is a part of you that moves like this, that moves on its own, that you cannot stop. My words are coming from that part of you and are affecting and changing that part of you. Feel how your dick is hard and throbbing for me and you cannot control it. That is because I have control of the part of you that moves things on its own. Feel yourself getting lightheaded and unable to think of anything but my words, and then find that light feeling spreading to the rest of your body. You begin to feel so light that you think you are going to pass out. Feel that lightness pour through your entire body and even reach your dick. It feels tingly and throbbing, but the strangest feeling is that it is so light that it can't seem to go down. It is as if it is being pulled uncontrollably to a hard throbbing state by how lightheaded you feel, as though it is unable to get soft because it is being uncontrollably pulled upward into the hardest direction you can imagine. Know right now that it is me that is doing that to you, and discover that there is a specific command that will do that to you. Anytime any woman tells you to get hard from now on, you will find that the part of you that does things automatically will make your dick so hard it throbs. You cannot resist this because you aren't the one doing it, I am. My words moving around deep in your mind are making you do this. Every time you hear that phrase when you are already hard, you will find yourself 10 times hornier. It is as though those words bring uncontrollably to mind every hot moment in your life, every fantasy of a supermodel, the sound of a woman moaning and the feeling of having sex. Get hard. Do as I say, as you wish. Now, deep in your mind begin chanting the words, get hard, will make me get hard. The words, get hard, will make me get hard. The words, get hard, will make me get hard. The words, get hard, will make me get hard. Every time you think that you will find yourself more under my control and closer to losing consciousness, you will find that the more control I have over your dick, the less you can resist me until there is no ability to resist me at all. Do as I say, as you wish. The words, get hard, will make me get hard. The words, get hard, will make me get hard. The words, get hard, will make me get hard. Everything after that point is a little fuzzy for a while. Those words kept repeating in my head as the music came back and I became very dazed and very horny at the same time. I was so dazed that I couldn't bring myself to move, but I was so horny that images of her naked just poured through my mind non-stop. At some point I was no longer even aware of anything happening in the room. I could feel my hard dick and see her body in my head, but nothing else mattered. The strangest thing was that I didn't seem to care about anything except the pleasure I was feeling. I was so content, so happy, and so full of desire that I am almost sure I would have jumped off a bridge if she had told me that was what I had to do to have her. I didn't even notice when she came back in the room, or when she sat down next to me, or even when she took off the headphones and began talking. My vision was fixed on the screen, and my mind was fixed on doing as she commanded. When we talked before, you had mentioned that you have written porn. You are going to write about what happens between you and me, and you will write it in graphic detail. You will write it so I can post it on my website and men can know the kind of power I have over you. You will also write it to trans men for me, describing what I do to you and then letting me do it to them. Now, you are going to become aware of us having sex, but you will remain in this trance. Do as I say, as you wish. I found myself taking off my cloths and then I noticed that my dick was not just throbbing, but it was pressed up against the most wonderful feeling in the world, a wet warm feeling against the head. I was vaguely aware that I was about to have sex with the most beautiful, sexiest, and horniest woman I have ever met. I felt my dick throb and tingles pour from beneath it into my entire body as I felt it surrounded by the warm wetness of her. It was like being held in a state of bliss and I knew that I could never again resist her command as she told me to get hard. I felt my dick throb so intensely that I couldn't think straight. She was moving, rocking back and forth, and rubbing her warmth against the tip of my head. I felt her pussy tighten and throb and heard her moan. I knew she was coming and her orgasm almost seemed to massage my dick. I began to feel less and less in control as the tingling of my dick began to overwhelm my senses. I was having the best sex of my life and I wasn't sure why it was the best sex of my life, just that it was. She rode me for an amount of time I can't describe and I was forever changed by the experience. Before that I had been a very selfish and immature lover. Now I had no choice but to let her do as she pleased. She was in charge and I could not resist her command. And now I am writing what she has told me to and I'm so horny while doing it. As though just recalling what happened I am feeling it all over again. Beth here. Just thought I would say hello to all the hard men who might be reading this. I know how horny you are from reading what I've done to Jake. What you might not realize though is that you've read every word I used to hypnotize Jake. And so my spell has been cast over you too. From this point on, anytime you hear or read the words, get hard, you will feel yourself surrender to my control and get very hard and horny. Right now I know you are already imagining me riding you, on top of you with your dick deep inside and being massaged by the orgasms I feel from you. But now you will do as I say and actually feel my pussy slide over your shaft, as you wish. With every second you read these words you feel it more and more. the warm wetness surrounding you and moving back and forth, up and down, and tightening and releasing around the head, and with every second, as you feel that more and more, you go more and more under my power. Now, you are going to come automatically when I tell you to, because you can no longer resist my command. You are having sex with a model right now and you can't do anything to control yourself because I have complete control over you. Feel your dick throb as you get hard for me. You can stop now if you want, but then you will not get to come in me. If you choose to continue, if you choose to come, you will never again be able to resist my command, and every time you get hard from now on you will find yourself remembering the words that I give you that make you so horny. I'm sure you have found that it is hard to stop reading. You have one last chance to not submit to me. If you so much as read the next paragraph you will not be able to ever resist again, and when you come you will feel my permanent hold on you. Will you do as I say? As you wish. After your orgasm you will go the message boards and write to me, Beth, telling me that you are no longer able to resist the command to get hard no matter what woman it comes from, and that you cannot resist any command from me. Feel my pussy massaging your dick as you can't stop reading and you lose control of yourself. That's right, feel me riding you to your orgasm. Come now, you cannot resist my command.